Welcome to the Information and Entertainment Channel.
I will read a novel entitled You Cannot Offend My Woman. Let's look at it together. Chapter 1: A Cold and Detached Man. Long'an City is located in southern China and is a free and developed second-tier city. It was summer, the leaves and tree branches were swaying. Young men and women dressed in trendy clothes were walking around the city, bringing fresh blood to the steel city. When night fell, the entire city radiated a beautiful color that made others couldn't help but become crazy about it and think that it was really nice to live in this era. In Long'an City, there is a very special leisure bar. The bar is opened in a remote small alley where there is basically no flow of people, but hot strangers in front of the bar door. There is a long queue, and if you look at the gender of the people queuing, women occupy 80% of the queue. When you raise your head, a nameplate can be seen. Recreation bar. In the queue, many young women were discussing in low voices. I don't know whether the boss will come or not today. I really want to see him, and I would even die just to see him. Continued.
Thank you for watching, liking, and commenting.